this ultimately, this obsession that Congressman Cleaver talks about, could this ultimately end up backfiring on the Republicans? Are they over jumping the runway here?
Well, I would think that would be justice if it did happen. If they did keep saying that the president was involved in this, they can say fairly and authoritatively it's his job to fix it. But I'll tell you, Reverend, one piece of this thing that we always have to keep in mind as we deal with effective government, and those of us who believe in effective, positive government have to be the ones who make it work. The right wing loves it when it screws up because it makes their case. The liberals, the progressives, the reasonable people say, you know, I need the government. I need it not just to protect me. I need it to do a lot of things I want done to keep this society okay. But the problem is there are people in this country, maybe 10%, I don't know what the number, maybe 20% on a bad day, who want this president to have an asterisk next to his name in the history books, that he really wasn't president. You know, like a guy in baseball that used drugs.
Right.
They want to be able to say, well, he really didn't have that batting average. He really wasn't the first African-American president. He really didn't do health care. He really didn't kill bin Laden. There's an asterisk. And they have been fighting for that to people like Donald Trump since day one. They can't stand the idea that he's president. And a piece of it is racism. Not that somebody in one racial group doesn't like somebody in another racial group. So what? It's the sense that the white race must rule. That's what racism is. And they can't stand the idea that a man who's not white is president. That is real. That sense of racial superiority and rule is in the hearts of some people in this country. Not all conservatives, not even all right-wingers. But it always comes through with this birther crap and this other references and somehow trying to erase Obamacare, erase his record in history. And a big part of it is bought into by people like John Boehner, who's not a bad guy, but he knows the only way he can talk to the hard right is talk their language.
No
and
doubt.
That this guy shouldn't be president somehow, that he isn't president somehow, that he's an asterisk, just like, you know, Barry Bonds or somebody took drugs. Therefore, he didn't really have the batting average.
And you take
it didn't really count.
You take away everything, and that because that's what white supremacy is, and that's not calling all of them that, but clearly there's